anybody who ever claims to actually know, then they're arrogant, they're deluded. That means they don't really know. It means they're giving false information. And, you know, the extent of my travels and the extent of my experiences show me that there's a whole multitude of people on this planet that actually do know, but not many are stepping forward at this time and actually sharing that. And so what I've found, Mel, is with me getting out there on the world stage now and actually sharing my experiences, the amount of people that are coming forward and saying, George, I've always known this. I've always felt that this is the real truth of who we are, why we're here. I felt it in my heart all along, but no one was out there saying it. So thank goodness finally there's a voice out there in the wilderness that's actually saying this stuff. And that will probably explain why you've had so many people getting in touch with you to say, you know, maybe you want to get this guy on your show. Absolutely.
And you say that we are now a false and synthetic construct of what we're supposed to be. Is this because of the eradication of knowledge? I'm referring to, for example, the burning of the Library of Alexandria, the Inquisition, the burning of witches, etc. Why was all this knowledge eradicated? I think it's because the less we know, the less we ask, and therefore we remain subjugated. What is your perspective on this?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. And you can include that, you know, the crucifixion of Jesus being nailed to that cross, because what the symbol of the cross actually means is the sword and the stone. The crucifix in the mound is no different to Excalibur, the sword and the stone. The two symbols are identical. And by that being nailed to that cross, it heralded the beginning of the Dark Ages. So there's a lot more to that story than people are being told. To actually know what the true sacrifice of that man was as well, there's so much more. Like, who was he anyway? So to understand who he was, to understand who the feminine attribute of that being was, which is Mary Magdalene. Who is this planet? To know the answers to these questions the questions people need to start really asking is, who is the consciousness of this planet that I've actually incarnated onto? And who is the consciousness of the solar system that I've decided to come inside of and have this experience? And really the death of knowledge, the death of wisdom is what occurred 2,000 years ago and heralded the Dark Ages. And we really bottomed out. We took, you know, it'll depend which level you want to look at this from, because I've got I'll share these answers from a multidimensional perspective, because we've got our level of awareness down here, and we could say that it's been horrendous. You know, the level of deprivation of human spirit and separation to such an nth degree of passiveness, of, you know, people burnt at the stake, people beaten just for thinking differently from the church, for example. You know, it's so horrendous. So who's the church and what are they up to? And, you know, there's just so many questions. That's why I said to you that, you know, to fit it all in a couple of hours is a little bit challenging. But really, to sum it all up is to go right back to that big question, or the big answer and the big picture. We are an embodiment of beings who are a fractal of the universe. We are universes that are in the process of becoming. Okay? And there are energies in this universe that want to do their best to stop us from becoming that. Now, from a much higher level of awareness, okay, this is all in perfect divine order, because we actually contracted them to do this to us, as insane as that sounds. It's about understanding things from a multi-dimensional perspective. We have higher aspects of ourselves, because let me put it like this. This life that you're having, Mel, obviously was not organized by Mel, okay? Or this life that I'm having as George was not organized by my personality as George, because George is the personality of this individual incarnational lifetime. So which part of me made the decision to come here in the first place? That is the part that I'm talking about. There's a part of us that is outside this reality, that is beyond our incarnational construct, and that is the part of us that made the decision to incarnate on this earth. Okay? So when you reconnect with that aspect of yourself, then you realize that who is the composer, who is the orchestrator and the conductor of these lives that we're having, and all the experiences that we have. And when you begin to reconnect with that, then you no longer play the blame game. you remove yourself from victimhood. You start taking responsibility for your life, and you actually become grateful for every experience that you have. Because that's the place I needed to go to understand all the abductions that I went through of a malevolent nature, you see. And you start to get this really grander understanding of life, how everything is orchestrated, how everything is by design, and what we're all doing here. And you understand that all these forces of negativity and darkness are actually serving us. They're actually in service to us. And we learn through these experiences. Without these challenges, we wouldn't be who we are. We wouldn't learn, we wouldn't grow and be who we are.
So you're saying that we must go through adversity in order to grow?
Yeah. Excuse me, I just needed a drink of water. Yes, I do. That's the nature of this reality. It's a dualistic reality. And if you were just to remain in a little room wrapped up in cotton wool in your little comfort zone,
right,
and never experience anything, you would never learn anything. You would just sit there in a passive state of this cozy little blissful state and just remain there and just be that constantly. So the nature of this reality is that you need to go out there, live life, experience everything, come across challenges, and get out there and learn and live and be. And that's the nature of the way this universe is designed. And it's an incredible way and expression of life to, instead of allowing these other energies to create that internal divide where you become resentful towards your very existence here, and you become resentful towards everything that's going on here. If you actually, first of all, embrace your own negativity and your own shadows, and then you begin to embrace the negativity around you and understand the purpose, its role in life, then everything changes. And these energies no longer have power over you. It's an incredible way to actually, these realizations are massive. And the information that I share for people is about self-empowerment. When I took that journey in 2003 and I went up through the dimensions of our universe and I got to see life, what this universe is about, and then I got to see outside this universe, that was the really profound moment, to be just pure energy and to see outside this universe, and to know that this universe is light, and to know that we are out there as well into the omniverse, and that we are truly infinite. To know that we are eternal and infinite, and there's no beginning and end to us, that we are all part of the all, Mel. And so once you really understand that, then nothing can control you anymore. It's game over.
The three primordial questions. You seem to have the answer. Who are we? Where do we come from? And where are we going? That could be a good foundation.
Yeah. Okay. And also, Mel, I also want to address the issue of synthetic construct, because that's very, very important. Our embodiments are not synthetic constructs. Our awareness is a synthetic construct. Okay. It's two very distinctive pieces of understanding. And it's all about perception and the way people perceive life.
You mean the programming? It's programming.
Yeah. This reality is not an illusion. Our level of awareness that we have in this reality is the illusion. It's the mind construct that is the illusion. The planet itself and the natural environment is not an illusion. That is actually organic life. And this synthetic construct, which we call universal law, LAW, is the synthetic authoritarian construct overlaid over the natural order of things, which is universal law, LORE, two very, very different and distinctive states of being. And I've crossed over to LORE, and that's the state of self-empowerment. So two very different things. And once that is known, once you cross over to LORE and away from LAW, that's when you're free. That's when they no longer have control over you. So I just want to make that point clear.
Sure.
Okay, the primordial questions: who are we, where do we come from, and what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll summarize that. Okay, when I took this journey in 2003, my galactic family turned up, and they're a group of extraterrestrial beings who majority of them come from the Sirius system, because that's where me as a being has incarnated mostly from, because we have many energetic streams. We have many aspects of ourselves out there in the cosmos. And so the majority of me comes from the blue star of Sirius, and the star itself is a planet on a higher level. So that's understanding the different dimensional planes of the universe. And so when they came to pick me up, it was family straight away. I knew exactly what was going on. There was no them proving to me who they are or anything like that. It was just instant knowing with my awareness and my beingness. And it was a soul contract that they would come at that point in time in my life and pick me up. And they did, and they facilitated an experience where they maintained the life force of my body. And so I could take this journey because I've astral traveled, I've traveled the ethers, I've had incredible experiences in my life, and this was different. This was everything that animates this body into being was going to come out. Total consciousness and state of being. And so they just needed to maintain the life force of my body. Without the use of technology, we had a soul contract that they would use their love to maintain my body in an organic way. And so off I went. I came out of my body and I took this journey. And it was incredible to see a whole cosmic paradigm of billions and billions of galaxies just shrink down into a vortex of light. And that one spin of that vortex of light, a tiny vortex of light, was eons and eons and eons of evolution inside a cosmic paradigm. Just that perspective was phenomenal. And then I traveled further up into higher planes of existence, and it's hard for me to verbalize what I actually experienced. But I got to a point where I looked outside this universe, and I saw into what's called the omniverse. I'm labeling it the omniverse, because universe is one verse. It's one singular expression of life. And this universe, the construct is light. And out there, all the other universes I saw, their construct was different. Now, I can't explain them with this level of awareness down inside this universe. But what I rediscovered and re-remembered was all those universes are us. So what we do on a universal level is we express ourselves, and then that construct of that expression each one is a different construct, and we look at each other and we go, now that's cool, that's really cool. And I want to learn how to be like that too. So I will send a spark of me inside of you, into your universe, your construct, and I'm going to learn how to be like you. Now, when I'm inside your universe, you are God to me. You are the creator of that universe, right? So what I'm saying is when you connect with this universe, the creator of this universe, the being that we call God, then it'll be the first